Here we go. Welcome, everyone. One more wise crowd gathering. So we have been doing this for a while now, and it's a kind of a sacred space to play with liberating structures. So we also do the virtual facilitation practice, which sometimes is more technical or has some specific topic. Sometimes it's even related to liberating structures, but this gathering is all about liberating structures. So if you don't know what it is, or if you know, want to practice, this is the purpose. We'll be practicing together and see what we can do, new things. So the agenda is kind of tight. Carolina did the attention and presence. I'm just welcoming you, doing some orientation for who is new, who is the first time in the gathering. Just raise your hands. Anna, Beth, Nancy, nice. Okay, and we'll do a piece of connection with you, maybe impromptu networking. We'll do the wise crowds with its one of the liberating structures, and then we'll be using an artifact to refine the agenda. So we'll be playing with the icons, sharing after what we learn, and closing. Anything to add, Carolina, on this zip zap?
Just maybe have fun and play with the liberating structures. And this is so good. And it's a nice crowd here to play with.
Yeah, so I'll get people in the breakouts and you can invite the impromptu networking.
Okay, so we're going to start with the impromptu networking. I think a lot of you know, but I'm going to explain anyway. So we have two questions in the chat. And so how did you find out about liberating structures? And what do you hope to take away from this gathering? And how can you contribute to this group? So we're going to have 3 rounds of 4 minutes each. And you're going to meet different people in each round, hopefully.
I'll make it happen.
Okay. And yeah, that's it. 4 minutes. Enjoy.
Okay. See you in a bit.
I'm going to put in the chat. So we are doing the impromptu networking. And I just put in the chat again for you, Jennifer. Welcome. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, so now we are going to have a second round. And Fernando is doing the magic too, so then you can find another person to talk to. So same questions. So how did you find out about liberating structures, your takeaways, and how you can contribute with this group? So those questions to talk about, and you're gonna meet another person. And when you're ready, Fernando, just...
Here you go. New pairs. See you in a bit.
Do that.
Here we are. Do you feel that you need a little bit more time?
Yeah, for sure. I was in the middle of it and I got caught off.
No, I know. It's how it is. And from Tampa, Florida. That's nice. And okay, so we are going to have the last round. And I hope you are going to meet another person. It's so lovely I would love to meet everyone, but I know it's not the case now. We're going to do another, the wise crowds after, and then we're going to meet other people probably.
Yeah. Last round. See you in a bit. Okay, people are coming back.
I need to have a conversation with the timekeeper because
he's located in the United States in Zoom's headquarters. It's always a short time, but you can exchange contacts and keep talking. This is a lovely group. So we lost Katie, but we get Enki. So we are good. We're moving on. Carolina, it's me. Yeah, it's me. Let's just do a quick polling. What is your current relation with liberating structures? So we have some options. I know well and practice very often. I know a little and practice very often. Know well, but practice rarely. I know a little and practice readily. And what are liberating instructors? It's also valid.
My option isn't there. That I've read a ton about it, but not had the chance to use it yet.
Mhm.
A new one, Fernando. We always
Me too, yeah.
learn something.
Okay. 3 people are still 2 people. 1 more person.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, so let's see. Here we are. So we have some people who know a little, some people who know a lot. Okay. It's a good mix. So we created this format, which is very simple. You can use it with your own group anytime because you'll be sharing these slides with you. But basically, we do 2 moments with a real client. So we will ask you to just volunteer as a client if you have a challenge, if you have an event that needs to be like well designed using liberating structures, so you need some inputs to make a better agenda, this is the time. So you'll be able to present the challenge in the wise crowds, and people will be discussing and give you some ideas. You'll be taking notes. And after this cycle of wise crowds, we'll be working in a document to really go to the nitty gritty. So we use these 2 steps to get things more easily for people. And it's been working well. So if you don't know the wise crowds, you just need to know what is in the chat. It's very similar to Troika Consulting. Same mechanics, different timings, and the number of people is different. So instead of working with groups of 3 people, you work with groups of 4 or 5. And basically, you tap the wisdom of this whole group in rapid cycles. In our case, we'll be doing just 1 round. Normally, you can do, depending on how much time you have, you can do 2, 3, 4 rounds. And when you are in a group, you have 1 client. This client will have 3 minutes to present the challenge and request for help. Then the consultants will spend 3 minutes asking clarifying questions just to better understand the challenge, some details, just to understand, not to solve the problem. And after the 6 minutes, 3 for the client, 3 for the consultants, the client just turns the camera off, mic off, gets ready to take notes because consultants will go wild discussing, creating options and recommendations of which liberating instructor we use first, and then second, which one it's also available for another thing. So just go wild. And in the last minute, the client comes back and share what was valuable for him or for her. So it will be a total of 60 minutes for 1 cycle. And then we'll be giving the orientation for the second part. So now we need clients, consultants, and apprentices.
We are already having the chat. They were like Anki, Laura, and Kylie. Is that right? So it was the
Put in
first
the chat the orientation anyway. So we need clients, consultants, and apprentices. If you select the dot in the chat, you can copy it, just a dot. It will help me to move you to the breakouts. And I can also do
Client being the person who needs the help, right? On from the other's experience of liberating structures.
Yeah, we have the space just for 3. So I just picked the first 3 that put in the chat. And I'm so glad that usually we ask for clients and nobody show up. No, nobody, but you know, and now today everybody wants to be a client almost.
So which one are the 3 first ones, Carolina?
It's Anki, Laura,
Anki.
Anna and I are kind of the same client. So I don't know, is there any value in putting us in the same room?
Actually, no, because when you have 2 people, it gets longer because you both will try to answer the questions. So you'll be easily going over time.
Okay, no problem.
Laura, Anki, and Kylie. The 3.
So did you rename? Oh, okay, yeah, it's there. Nice. So let me recreate 3 rooms. Enki's one, Lauren's the other one, and Kion's the other one. Okay. And then I will be splitting people. around. So we have one bigger group. Okay. Yeah. Anything to add, Carolina, for the orientation?
Yeah, just follow the sequence and the time allocated for each step, and you'll be fine. And so this is just a first, like, thinking about, and then you're gonna have more time to dig in.
Yeah, this is good to know. Don't rush. 60 minutes is a lot of time. If you did Troika Consulting, you know that it goes fast. And one of the consultants in the room, please take care of the timing. Be very precise. Every system needs a little bit of pressure to work. Okay. 60 minutes. I'll open the rooms. See you when you're back. If you need any help, just hit that button and one of us will be there to help if you need. See you. People are back. Okay. Good work so far? Clients are happy? Okay, invoices are coming later. Nice. So let me share the screen with you before I give you the link for this document, and then you know what to do next. So these are the slides. Are you seeing on your side? Probably yes. These are the icons. So they are grouped. So the name and the icon are together. And this is one example of the slide that for a client. So there are some copies down below. You'll be creating the strings visually. So you can copy and paste the icons of the structures you are thinking of using and then put them in a order. If you have like options, oh, you can use this or that in this case. So you can create like options like we did here. And one important tip is to just focus first on the string. So you have the critical objectives in order on the top. Based on that objectives, you can design a string. And just after you have this flow going, you can devote some time to the invitations for each string or some as they need it. We have seen people getting lost in the invitations without getting like a string, put it up. So that's one tip. Another tips are be on this space of possibilities because there is no right or wrong string. You can create as many as you want and all of them will work some way. Using a bit of yes and keep adding options. You don't have to finish this exercise with the string. It's better to have maybe sometimes options to go through. And remember to copy and paste the icon. Sometimes people get lost. They stay 15 minutes looking for an icon. They find it. They can't find it because someone took it. So we have 3 slides. I think you can put the names over there when we get there. And that's it. It's fun. Let me put in the chat the link and you let me know if you can open on your side. Oh, people are already discussing in the chat there.
Yeah.
You
That's
are so awesome. Yeah, so the idea is to work for these 60 minutes with the same client, and now the client will be working together with you. So if they have, for example, no, this segment I'll be doing something else, but this string, this structure after is nice. So work together as a team to come up with some solutions. When we come back to the main room, we will not ask you to tell the whole story. We'll be asking you, what did you learn or what is a highlight of this string? Some moment that this is awesome. We figured this out together. So we'll be sharing more the highlights, not the whole movie. Okay. Anything to add, Carolina?
No.
Let me just check the time. We are good on time, so we'll have 1 more minute, 17 minutes. And if you need help, just hit that button and one of us will be there.
Yeah.
See you in a bit. Have fun.
Thanks for coordinating this. I actually have to go feed her, so I'll let my group go through it. But this was great. Thank you so much. Good to see you, Carolina and Fernando.
To see you, Paul. Oh, what a beauty.
Thanks.
That's so nice.
Yes, facilitator in the room.
Yeah, I was impacted by her in a good way. So what we want to know, it's what is the highlight, one highlight of the string that this worked together, and what did you discover? So who wants to start? And I'm gonna share the document. Which client wants to start?
I'll go first if Anna wants to share our work. Won't get into too much detail, but basically this is cycling advocacy, and it's a tour of an e-bike tour organized for our town council and planners. I live in Gibson's, which is a lot like Nelson's, got big hills and trying to get more cycling infrastructure. And we wanted to just have a tour that ended up being more than a bike tour. So just the entire, I mean, as usual, it was incredibly powerful going through the whole exercise. I always find Troika and Wise Crowd super powerful. The highlight in this string was that there was one liberating structure that was very obvious as the one to use, the W3. What, so what, now what? And then originally people had also suggested two other ones. Maybe you could do 9 Ys at the beginning, and perhaps you could also as a string do 15% solutions at the end so that you could get that little extra bit of kind of commitment after the ride. And my first, the big limitation that I have is time, that it's hard to get these people's time. And so in my mind, I was thinking 1 hour to do it. But the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, maybe there is a possibility to put 9 Ys at the beginning, and maybe there is a possibility to do kind of a quicker version of 15% solutions at the end, or at least kind of have those in your back pocket if you think that the conditions are right and you know, you've kind of that we've achieved our first objective of getting buy-in. And then great suggestions like we're gonna do our debrief at the ice cream store and everybody's gonna get a free ice cream after they do their tour. And yeah, no, just chock-a-block. So discovered that sometimes you think you might not be able to do strings, but maybe you need to sit with it a little bit more and perhaps there's a possibility. So that's me. I'll just see if anybody else from my group wants to chime in.
Yeah, maybe just put the 9 Ys there as something that you can think about and to squeeze in everything in 1 hour and a half. Yeah.
I just
Okay.
want to say very quickly that I'm so grateful for my group, because this was amazing to see the professionals working with liberating structures, and I'm just learning. So thank you so much for this valuable, precious experience.
Nice.
I'll mirror what you say, Sophia. It was so great to see how Beth just dominates those topics. You know, that it showed me that, like, I've been reading about them, but just knowing what each one is and how they work by memory is very inspiring. Thank you, Beth.
Nice. Okay, so then we go to Lara.
Yeah. So I also really enjoyed working with my consultants and hearing their ideas and them drawing on their wisdom and knowledge was just inspiring. So thank you. It was DJ, and was it David or Peter? And now my mind's confused. It was Paul. It was one of the other apostles. Oh my God. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. I guess a highlight for me, I wanted to come into this session just be creative and the moment, and I felt like that's what happened. We actually kind of identified that the core objective of the session could actually shift after we explored a possible outcome from a string. And because I have the freedom to do that, it's just, that was really cool. So we kind of like generated another session. And so now I have 2 sessions that I can run that would support each other, but they can also be independent. So that was like really cool outcome highlight. I don't know if I need to add anything more
I just wanted to point out, Laura, that
Yes.
I actually added the what, so what now what at the end, because I think it's a really powerful way for the group to reflect back on what's happened and what they're going to take away. So just added that at the end, and you can do with it what you want.
Thank you. Thank you. I was also thinking about that. Yeah, I'll pass it on unless someone wants to ask me questions, but I'll pass it on.
Yeah, the social network webbing, someone, I think Kylie was talking about in the chat,
Mhm.
doesn't show up very often, right?
But it's a very good one.
The
It was
cool
actually-
thing about that. Oh, sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go for it. Go for it, DJ. Explain that one.
I'm just going to say the cool thing about that is Paul brought it up, that not from the perspective for Laura's topic, not about who to connect with, but how to connect the different topics that children are learning in school so that they can start to really find the relevance in their own lives of what they're learning and how it relates to other topics. So I thought that was a great idea that he came up with.
Mhm.
Thank you. And Anki.
Hello. I realized that the critical objective doesn't actually indicate what my compelling challenge was, but what the highlight was being able to move past who I think are groups. There's about 4 different stakeholders, I would say, that aren't talking to each other right now. And it's all around a school program and the admissions process, and understanding that and trying to align it with some criteria that hasn't been revised in a very, very long time. So it was great to be able to learn how to move past kind of that mistrust and anger and initial reaction. So I think I have some really great information here and how to string these together. Appreciative interviews, being able to, identify what's great, what we want to keep. I think people haven't felt heard, seen, and respected. So that one is definitely on the list. We haven't strung them together, and I just wanted to pull everything onto the slide so that if I needed to, I could work on the slide and be able to string them together. But the challenge is, it is compelling. I have to do this work. And I really appreciated having some ideas of where to start and how many sessions I would possibly need, because this didn't happen overnight. And I don't think the changes can move forward in one session. I think I'm looking at probably 3+ sessions.
Thank you, Anki.
Awesome. And just to highlight what was said, Beth was dominating the group because you know the structures, right? So it's nice, this kind of not domination, but you are putting the pieces there and people get their heads around, and then you learn. So the more we play with people who have a little bit of knowledge, if people have lots of knowledge, even better, but you start playing and assembling different combinations. We are always surprised when we have the same topic we discuss together and we have separate groups to discuss strings. It is never the same. It's always different depending on who is in the room and the way they prefer to work with groups. I think this is the beauty of liberating structures. It's always new. And even if you do the same string with the group, it will be different.
And I think you learn to be more subtle as a facilitator. And I like that. Every time that you try, maybe again, the same string.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. That's so good to have people in the room that knows more than you, and then you just like share. And Anna and Sophia, they're very pleased to have others, right? Yeah, thank you, everyone. It's so nice. Anything else, Fernando, or just go to?
Yeah, go to the closing. That's the idea, to join, make new connections, new friends, and you are just one link away from everyone in this room.
So just stop your camera for a while and reflect for a minute on what is your takeaway from this Wise Crowd gathering. And when you know what you are going to share, just open your camera. What is your takeaway from this gathering? Okay, so verbally we have 10 minutes to share. And so who wants to start? And then you maybe pick another person to go after you. Who wants to start? Anna.
I can start if you like. What am I taking away is I think I've always all my life wanted to jump into other people's minds, which is why I've always taught literature, which is why I've learned lots of languages, which is why I've traveled, because I want to know what other people think. You know, that's just so important to me to kind of expand my perspective is by understanding others. So the biggest thing I'm taking away today is just having seen how other people see and use liberating structures just helps me to completely, you know, it's very dangerous to only think what you think. So I think when you see what other people do and how they see things and how, you know, how they perceive things, it just helps you to open your mind. So it was just a real joy to meet all of you today. And Lara, thank you for inviting me. That was just fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. And who you pick to go after you?
Well, I'll pick Lara because I just mentioned Lara.
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking away some really great ideas, which is, you know, one of the reasons why I came. But the other reason is just to stretch myself again and keep practicing this, keep looking and connecting with other people. And sometimes that takes commitment. You know, you got to take the time out of busy schedule to do this stuff. And I'm just reconfirming that is really worth it. You know, like the way I'm going to get better and more confident and have more experiences of success is through taking the time to connect with other people, share ideas, and keep practicing. And it just is a commitment that I want to keep making to myself and to the people I work with.
Thank you, Laura.
I'll pass it to DJ King because I love your name.
Thanks, Laura. So my biggest takeaway from today is just the value of this gathering, and that regardless of the role that you play, there is so much to learn. You know, I had a deliverable coming up that I really wanted to get some input on, and I think I learned as much about what I can use for my own client engagement as you know, from what the conversation that we had with Laura. So there's so much to learn, so much to get and give from these, and I am so grateful to you guys for continuing to offer this to us. So thank you. Sophia.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm very grateful that I found this community, and I really found it a very safe and friendly place to learn. And also I have the list of liberating structures to study more, and it's so exciting. I have my to-do list here, so thank you so much. And I pick up Beth.
Yeah, I think one thing I'm taking away from today is kind of the power of working together to sort of surface surprising aspects of the problem. So Anna had a really good question, even kind of in the middle of our second part of the consultation, where we got some really important information that I think really changed even how we were thinking about, like she just kind of really said, like, what is the compelling challenge here? And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, secretly I have this hidden agenda that there's this other thing. And so then we were able to talk about how could you bring that agenda into your plan. So I think that was a really striking moment to me and something that I'll keep thinking about in terms of how do you just keep finding out, like, well, what's really the thing. And I will pick Nancy.
Yeah, so for me, this was totally new space altogether. And I love that I got to know so much about LS, and I was also meanwhile Googling the website, right, simultaneously. And to be part of those small groups and just to, understand those symbols and structures, just to listen to them was very liberating, if I can say. So I'm really looking forward to understand a bit more of it and see, how it can be implemented. And what Sophia said, right, how it was a safe space to like just share your challenge and problem and be open to receive to what others have to say, which they might not know a lot of your background, but to be open to receive, that was really inspiring to see. Thank you. I will pick, who is left? Anna?
Okay, thanks, Nancy. I think my biggest takeaway, so I'm just back from mat leave from 1.5 years away. And so it feels like some of this work is far away and some of the language is far away. It's like, oh, what is that structure called? What is that thing we do? And so for me, it was really valuable to hear other people talk about the structures and how they would use them. I think sometimes I flip through the menu and I look at things and I read it. And even if I've seen them before, it still doesn't feel alive. And then when I hear someone apply it to a challenge and how they use it, it's like, oh, suddenly it's like, well, I could also use it like this and like this and like this and like this. So I think just getting to hear how others are applying the structures was really fun and inspiring. So I'm grateful for that. And I will pass to Natalie.
So I am an experiential learner. And for me, the WISE crowd has been a great supplement for the cohort that I'm learning with on Thursdays throughout April. We're all executive coaches and we work at the same organization. I have used, we talked about this in the last breakout that we had. I've used some of these structures professionally, which I didn't even know were structures. I just intuitively used things like the whys and the what, now what, so what. But I love the idea of organizing them in strings and the branding that comes with it. And already in the groups, we've only had one Thursday session. So I'm already using them in my groups and naming them and saying, we're going to do this. You can use this inside your organization. This is how we're going to do it. And it's like, I have so much less work to do. So I'm already appreciating this.
Great.
And I do agree with Beth about the surprising nature of what can happen when new information comes out of a structure that completely pivots a direction. That's just awesome. And the group does it all on their own. So you don't have to worry about getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And Anki.
Thank you, Carolina. I always go last because nobody nobody can pronounce my name, but Carolina knows me from our sessions. We did the workshops alongside Fernando and Carolina in the fall with my colleagues. And my takeaway from WISE Crowds, I'm like really grateful for the opportunity to continue learning. So while those workshops gave me a good intro, and I see them used in my organization and I try to use them myself, it's good to be able to learn from other people that are outside of your field a little bit for a living. and it gives information and inspiration, right? That yes, you can do this. Like you can use these liberating structures, and you can get the information you need to be able to make changes or to move forward. So that's my biggest takeaway from Wise Crowds. I've been coming since the end of our series of workshops, and I haven't missed a month yet, and I will be here next month because I learned so much. And this is the first time being a client, but I just learned so much from being able to just simply participate and listen. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, awesome. We finished 1 minute ahead of time.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
See you next month, guys. Awesome to have you here.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Great day.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.